Hello and welcome back to Life of the Troxels. My name is Laura and I am a mom of 3, soon to be 4. I have been a parent for more than 5 years now. I have a 5-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old daughter, a 20-month-old, and then I am 32 weeks pregnant with baby number 4. So I have a little bit of experience being a mom and being a parent, and I have some opinions, the key word being opinion, about parenting and this life that we live. And you know, before I became a parent 5 years ago, I was a great parent. You see all these kids running around and you're like, I can do that. I know how to fix that. My kids would never do this. And then your kids come along and you realize how wrong you are. I have a couple of what might be seen as unpopular parenting opinions, and just opinions that I have for my family and for my kids that are important to us. And so I thought that would be interesting to share with you. I do want to emphasize this works for our family. If there's something that works differently for your family, I think that's great. And one of the benefits of being a parent is you get to decide what works for your family. All right, so number 1, I'm gonna start off hot here. Number 1 is I will leave my kids in the car to run in if it's going to be less than a minute errand. And this is controversial because obviously we do not leave our kids in the car. It is very dangerous to leave your kid in the car, and I am aware of that. But if I can see my coffee sitting on the counter in the coffee shop, I pull up, I lock the car, grab my coffee, come back. It's a 20-second trip. I'm not going to be unloading them, bringing them with me, loading them back up, and then leaving again. Especially if they're sleeping a lot of the times, you have to wake them up out of a nap to do that, and it is just not something that I feel is necessary. So if it is something quick like that, I will run in and leave my kids in the car. Oftentimes, especially with my eldest who's 5, she even gets left in the car while I'm picking up her little sisters from daycare. I'll run in, it's 3 or 4 minutes to get our shoes on, pick up our lunch bags, and then she can be in the car waiting for us to do that. So another controversial opinion, and I guess that is what all of these opinions are gonna be, because there are gonna be people who disagree with the things that I have to say. But I don't limit my kids' screen time. And I specifically mean the TV screen time. They do not have a phone or even a tablet or anything like that. They do use my tablet if we're doing a road trip, but even then we only have one. And so one of them will get to watch a show while the other ones have to entertain themselves in another way. So I don't fully rely on screen time, but my family enjoys watching TV. Me and my husband enjoy watching TV and watching YouTube videos, and we'll put on music videos while we're cleaning, and we'll have sports on the weekends, and we enjoy watching TV, and so we have it on for our kids as well. So they don't even have to be educational shows that they're watching also. I do try to be careful that they're not watching anything too scary or gory or maybe not age appropriate, but I don't also have to have them watch Miss Rachel all the time either. They can watch shows that they enjoy. I feel like it really helps with getting a few extra minutes when I need some time to finish something up. If I want to make sure I finish up doing the dishes and getting my kitchen cleaned up and I need 20 minutes to do that, I don't mind if they watch another 20 minutes of TV to keep them out of the way while I'm finishing that. Because if I have to turn off the TV, then they want to start playing with me and getting involved with what I'm doing, and then now all of a sudden it's taken me twice as long to finish this, when I could have uninterrupted playtime with them after the show is over. Okay, so another one is table manners. So I think one thing is important is that when we're sitting at the table, we are dining. We are eating our food. We are not just sitting around chatting, playing, having fun. That, again, we don't use tablets or anything to distract them. We have table manners where we sit and we eat the food that is provided to us. So we all sit at the table for dinner, whether it's takeout, whether it's a home cooked meal, we're all sitting at the table together until all of us are done eating and have asked to be excused. Now, going along with kind of the dinner and the eating thing, this is one of the things where I didn't understand it before I was a parent. I was like, your kids are gonna eat what you serve them. If you serve them, you know, kid food, then they're only gonna wanna eat kid food. And guess what? They don't always want to eat kid food either. Sometimes they just don't want to eat anything except for snacks. And so they'll refuse to eat their dinner, and then they'll be hungry 30 minutes later and be like, can I have a snack? Can I have a snack? And they want chips and crackers and little cereal bars and lollipops, and they want all of the little snacks and treats, and they don't want any of their dinner. So I do not make a second meal if they do not eat the meal that they are served. We do an after dinner snack. So if they are hungry, they can either go back and eat the food that was on their plate. I do ensure that there's some sort of food that they will like that is served along with their dinner. Or they can wait until we do our evening snack, and it's usually like an apple and peanut butter or banana and peanut butter or some cheese and crackers or something along those lines. So they're not going to bed hungry even if they don't eat their dinner, but I'm not going to make a separate meal for them if they're not eating what is provided to them. Let me just tell you, they're not gonna starve. They got plenty of food. It's just they need to learn to appreciate the food that we have and we'll serve to them. The next one, I don't even know what number I'm on anymore, but the next one is sleep training. Now, there's a lot of differing opinions about sleep training, and my number one thing that I say about it whenever I bring up the fact that I sleep train my children, you know, when I'm talking to other moms at the daycare or anything like that, but I just want to say, sleep and getting a good night's sleep for myself and for my children is very important to me. That was something that was very important to me as a parent from the start. And so I worked very hard to have my kids be good sleepers. And other things are important to other parents. You know, if they want to only eat organic food and make their own food and do baby-led weaning, or they want to do strictly breastfeeding and not do any of the formula, or they want to be a stay-at-home parent and maybe they don't take their kids to daycare, whatever. Every parent has something that's very important to them, and for me, sleep was important. So from the very first day, I knew that sleep training was something I wanted to do. Now, that being said, I am not going to do the cry it out method, and I don't just let my kids lay in bed and cry. There is some crying involved because there is some learning that the baby needs to do, but I don't sit there and listen to my kids scream all night. I just let them get through that discomfort, and I will train them and teach them a skill of learning how to sleep for longer periods. Obviously, when they're younger, they do have needs and need to be woken up in the middle of the night. You know, they need to be fed and they need to be changed and things along those lines in the middle of the night, the younger that they are. But the first time my children slept through the night is about 6 weeks. I could get an 8-hour stretch out of them. And here they are as toddlers, and they are sleeping 12 hours a night. So it might be unpopular to sleep train your kids, and I know that there are plenty of toddlers out there who are waking up multiple times a night, and that might work for their family, but not for ours. So I do want to touch a little bit back to when I was talking about how I let my kids cry while they're learning how to sleep train. And I don't do the cry it out method. I do not enjoy listening to my kids cry. I know no parent does. It is a very, I think that's not a controversial opinion. I think everyone can agree on that. But there are certain circumstances that crying is a way of communication, and there are certain situations where you can let them cry for just a little bit in order to get to the point where you can help them and comfort them. So my example is, a lot of the times my daughter, Summer, who's 20 months old, she can't talk very well. So if she needs to communicate, she has to cry and she has to whine, and that's how she gets my attention. And she'll do pointing and grunting and, to let me know that she needs me. And so I'll be in the kitchen making dinner, getting a snack all prepped, and she'll be crying and wanting the snack that I'm prepping. So if I stop what I'm doing and comfort her and pick her up, now it's taking me longer to prep this meal for her because I have to do it one-handed, or I'm trying to comfort her and do it and then comfort her and do it. And I was just like, if I could just let her cry for the 4 minutes that it takes me to prep this snack, then when she gets her snack, which is what she's crying about, she'll be happy. But if I stop her crying immediately and comfort her and pick her up, it's gonna take me 8, 9, 10 minutes to prep this snack, and she's going hungry for longer, and it's not solving the problem that she's crying about. And so I'll let her cry while I prep the snack, and when I'm done, then I will pick her up and I will comfort her, and the crying stops immediately because I have solved the problem and I understood what she was trying to communicate to me. Same thing like when they're very little, if you know that they're tired, it's time for a nap, it's time for bedtime, they need their bottle, so you're trying to rush and get a bottle prepared. Especially if you're using formula, you need to be able to measure it properly, you need 2 hands for that, you're trying to warm it, the baby's crying, they need to be changed. You understand that these are the things that they need. They're tired. You're trying to get them to bed. If you're holding the baby with one arm and trying to prep a bottle with the other one, you're not going to do either thing very well. And your baby's going to stay up longer because it's taking you longer to prep this bottle than if you would just let them cry, take 3 minutes to prep the bottle. You can feed it to them and they'll get to bed quicker. But if you're trying to comfort them and not let them cry, now you're taking 8 minutes to prep this bottle and delaying their nap even longer, which is not solving the problem you need to solve. I'll let them cry just for a few minutes while I can help solve the problem that they're crying about. I think it's hilarious when you see little girls who are maybe 6 months old, 8 months old, something along those lines, and they have a little pigtail on the top of their head, and they have 3 strands of hair, and they put it in a little bow or a little hair tie, and it's sticking straight up, and all of the hair is down except for the 3 little pieces that can fit in the hair tie. And it's my unpopular opinion is that she doesn't need a ponytail. If you can only get 3 little strands of hair in her head, in the ponytail, just leave it down. It's fine. You can brush it. She'll still look nice. I understand it's so fun to want to get your daughters ready and get them dressed up, and you want them to be groomed and well presentable, but you don't need to put 6 strands of hair in a hair tie for your 6-month-old. She'll be fine. You can wear a headband maybe if you really need to. I'm trying to get fancy. But no, not until you can get a good chunk of the top half of their hair and all their bangs and everything back in their head. They do not need a hair tie. You'll be doing her hair for 13 years, so you can hold off a couple more months before you gotta fit it into a style. One thing that I've heard is that parents will say, my baby doesn't like the taste of frozen milk. And usually this is when they're exclusively breastfeeding and they're pumping and they have frozen milk saved in their freezer as a freezer stash. And then as they're getting older and they want to start using the freezer stash and feeding it to their baby, they say, oh, my baby doesn't like how it tastes. I don't think that's true. I think it's just you're not warming it up enough. And I think it's a solvable problem. My children have not had that problem. for a long period of time, perhaps in the beginning, as they're getting used to a little bit different of an eating situation, then they're going to take some getting used to a bottle versus nursing, you know, formula versus frozen milk or fresh milk, whatever it may be. But think about how hot your body temperature is, and when they're nursing versus when they're having a bottle and this milk came from the freezer. You need to really warm it up for them to be comfortable with it. And so if your baby doesn't want the bottle immediately, it's not because it tastes bad. I think you just need to give it a little bit more tries and be a little more creative with how you're preparing it. Personally, that's how I feel, but you know, your baby might feel differently. This is kind of a recent thing with my oldest, who is now 5 and she's in kindergarten. She is old enough to get herself dressed and pick out her own clothes in the morning. And so I will send her in there and I will say, it's going to be cold today. It's going to be warm today. You have PE class today. And so I will send her off to get dressed. And every once in a while, I feel like the clothes that she picks out is not weather appropriate. You know, she might be wearing a dress on PE day, or she's wearing shorts and it's raining outside, or she's wearing a sweater and it's gonna be hot outside. And honestly, I don't really care. I have made her change in a few ways. You know, if it's raining outside and it's cold, I want her to wear some pants, but she can wear a dress over it and short sleeves and then a jacket. I think that's fine. Obviously, if it's like very cold outside and it's snowing or somewhere like that, then we want to, again, it's like a safety reason to be dressed appropriately. But if her clothes are mismatched, if they don't match the weather, if she wants to wear sandals versus boots versus whatever, slippers, I don't know. She can wear what she wants because she's old enough to get herself dressed and make those choices and feel confident in the clothes that she has picked out. It could even be like it's raining outside and she wants to wear a jacket that doesn't have a hood. I don't care. You can get wet. The next time maybe you'll make a different decision. If it's hot and she's wearing sandals but she wants to wear her little frozen socks and her sandals together, okay, that's fine. She can wear socks with sandals. It obviously makes her happy. It really does not affect me. I do not give a bath every single night. And I know that this would shock some parents. There are some parents, you know, at daycare and they give their kids a bath every single night. It is part of their nighttime routine. And I think that's wonderful. That is a great way to have your kids be ready for bed. It's a great way to train your kids to sleep well, having a good nighttime routine. As we know, I do think that's important. So if that is something that is a part of your nighttime routine, then that is wonderful. But I don't think that my kids are getting dirty enough for a bath every single night where they need their hair washed and their bodies washed. We use baths for playtime as well. And so if it's an every night thing, it just kind of interferes with our evening plans. So they get washed every other night. So maybe like 3 or 4 times a week, and that's enough for our family. All right. And the last one is a doozy, and definitely a hot button topic on the internet in 2025 and last year as well. But that is showing your kids on the internet. And I've thought about this a lot. I've talked to my husband about this a lot, and we have very similar opinions on it. Again, that keyword being opinion. But the topic is that you don't want to show your kids on the internet because internet is a scary place. There's people that we don't know who are watching, and we don't know what their intentions are. The kids can't fully understand what it means to have your face put on social media and put on the internet. And so they're not old enough to make those decisions for themselves for the things that they want to share. There was a lot of parents and moms who were scaling back how they were showing their kids on the internet. They blur out their faces, or they put like a little emoji over their faces, or they just show, you know, from their neck down or from the back. They don't show their kids, they don't share their voices anymore. Or maybe they do share their voices, but just not what they look like. Some parents have gone even more into where they're not even sharing their kids' names, they're not sharing their kids' like birthdays or any of the milestones that they're making or anything like that for privacy reasons for their kids, and that's the decision that they make. The thing that I think is the hard balance to find about it is that if you're a mom and you want to connect with other moms and watch other mom creators, then you have to talk about your kids a little bit, you know, talk about the challenges that you have and how you've overcome the challenges, and talk about the milestones that your kids are hitting and some exciting things that are going on in their lives. I like to share the birthday party preps that we're doing, so you know when my kids' birthdays are and how old they are and how excited that they are with the things that they're interested in. And so the moms who have completely taken their kids off the internet, I feel like just aren't as relatable to me. I understand why parents choose not to share their kids on the internet, and that is completely their decision to do so. We obviously share our kids on the internet. I am very proud of my kids, and I want to share my motherhood journey, my parenting journey, and share some of the memories that we have. We do a lot of like traveling, so I share like parenting hacks and travel hacks and products that we use for the kids and things along those lines. So I do need my kids to be a part of the content that I share. You know, there's definitely ways of doing it where their dignity is intact and they have their privacy as well. So I just want to say thank you for watching and for sticking around. Please feel free to subscribe for more parenting videos, mom vlogs, travel videos, and things along those lines of a family of 5, soon to be 6. So please subscribe for more Life of the Troxels, and thanks for watching.